What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for TheLines.com, PlayPicks.com, and let's talk the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some picks, some predictions, preview of this team. Will they regress here in 2021? Of course, this team went 12-4, if you remember, 12-4 in 2020. We see right over here, this is TheLines.com. You just click on the NFL tab. When you do, it'll take you to this page with all of our betting guides. So you just find the conference that you're looking for, bam, and you click on the team. And there we have it. Pittsburgh Steelers. Matt Canada takes over as offensive coordinator for them. Remember, this team started 11-0 last year. I'll scroll up here so you can read along with our handy-dandy free betting guide over here. Then they lost 5 of their last 6 games. Schedule ended up being the second easiest DVOA as well. So they lost 5 of the last 6 games despite having the second easiest schedule in all of the NFL. They were 7-2 in one-score games as well. So if there's some regression in those one-score games, things could get really ugly for this team. Free agent signings, look, they re-signed Juju Smith-Schuster, which is a little bit of a shocker. Everybody thought he would go elsewhere. Joe Haig as a tackle that they signed, linebacker Melvin Ingram that they brought in to help out on the defensive side of the ball, Trey Turner at guard. Remember, this team lost Mike Hilton and Steven Nelson and Alejandro Villanueva and Bud Dupree in the offseason. So all of those guys are gone. Ben Roethlisberger obviously is back. Marquise Pouncey also retired. Now, they do get Devin Bush back from injury, so that should be able to help a little bit with that loss of Bud Dupree, but still a ton of stuff for this team that they're going to have to deal with. Draft picks. First round pick they spent on Najee Harris. The Steelers were 30th DVOA rushing last year. Pat Freiermuth is a second-round tight end. They took Kendrick Green, third-round center. Dan Moore, fourth-round offensive tackle. Buddy Johnson, a fourth-round linebacker. And then Isaiah Loudermilk as a defensive tackle they took in the 5th round. For a team that from all, last year, defense, number 1 overall DVOA defense, but 22nd DVOA offense, which is why we might find them, as we look right here, to win the Super Bowl down here at 45-1 for this team. Entering 2021, ESPN has them as the 16th most talented roster in the league. So dead center, right in the middle, 16th most talented roster. Over here to the AFC conference, you will see, we go down, you can see where the favorites are, right? I mean, these guys up here are pretty heavy favorites and a big drop off to the Titans. And then down here, the Steelers at 25-1 to win the AFC overall. Warren Sharp over at Sharp Football has forecasted this team as the absolute toughest schedule in all of the NFL. So the toughest schedule in all of the NFL. You look at these division winner totals. If we scroll down and find the NFC North, where do we go here? Oh, there we are. The AFC North. So Ravens, Browns, and then bam, Steelers 5-1 just to win the division. So that's what we're looking at. A team that went 12-4 and started 11-0, 5-1 just to win the division behind the +110 Ravens and the +155 Cleveland Browns. Pro Football Focus has this team as their 13th power rated team entering the season, which I think is a little interesting that we look and see that the team, that they have simulated for only 7.7 wins. 7.7 wins is what they have this team simulated at for the upcoming season. Now, Football Outsiders has them simulated 8.8 wins. Warren Sharp Football 8.5. PFF, though, 7.7 wins. A number 1 ranked defensive line heading into 2021. And, that might be why we still see this team sitting at 8.5 wins. And, the under now is heavily juiced, that being said. But 8.5 wins is where we see the Steelers team because his defensive line is going to be really, really good. They led the league with a 45% pressure rate last year. They did lose Bud Dupree, but Alex Highsmith should be able to fill some of that with some of that gap here. Actually, last year had a higher pass rush win rate than Dupree even did. And then you have TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Stephon Truitt. It is just an awesome defensive line for sure. But the problem could be the offensive line. And that might be why that, this under of 8.5 is juiced to minus 140 like it is, because you look, they got a first-year offensive line coach here. They're the 31st ranked offensive line heading into 2021, according to Pro Football Focus. As we mentioned, Pouncey retired, and they have 3 new starters on this offensive line. Zach Banner's coming off of injury. Trey Turner missed 7 games last year for the Chargers. Kendrick Green is a third-round rookie. And we're talking about these guys having to come in and play significant minutes, significant snaps, significant quarters, significant games for these teams. Kevin Dotson's the only starter to grade in the top 120, according to Pro Football Focus. So going to be tons and tons and tons of adjustments here for this team. And it might be why, if you look, to make the playoffs, the no is juiced to minus 175 on this team. Ben Roethlisberger's 39 years old at this point. He averaged 6.2 yards per attempt over the last 2 seasons. That is 39th out of 40 qualifying quarterbacks. Now, he says his arm feels better. We have to take him at his word, but still, the proof on the field is a guy that just can't throw the ball down the field anymore. 315 of Roethlisberger's 501 attempts traveled no more than 6 yards downfield last year. I mean, that's just real. That's just real. That's what it is. And that might be why we're looking at a nearly 2-1 for them not to make the playoffs here, playing in a very tough division anyway, a division that I'm super high on the Browns, and the Ravens are definitely going to be good. Roethlisberger was 31st in deep ball completion percentage, and we know that this is a passing league now, and Ben Roethlisberger cannot complete those deep balls. And the other problem was the offense was just so incredibly predictable. When the Steelers were under center, they ran the ball 85% of the time. When they were in the shotgun, they ran the ball 76% of the time. If the defense knows exactly what you're going to do, it's going to be very hard to have success, which is why offensive coordinator out, Matt Canada in, taking over as offensive coordinator. If we go to some of these other props that you can get on this team, Najee Harris 8-1 right here for offensive rookie of the year. And listen, this is a quarterback award and should be a quarterback award. However, if we can point to one person on this list that we absolutely know 100% is going to get all of the volume basically for his team when it comes to the running back position, it is Najee Harris. You cannot say the same thing whenever we come down the list here. Javonte Williams, Trey Sermon, Michael Carter, any of these other running backs, we cannot say the same thing about them. We know that Najee Harris, one, he's playing all the preseason games as is anyway. They're using him out of the backfield. He's catching balls and things like that, which is, again, stuff that he can rack up yardage doing. If there was anyone we know that is going to get a massive amount of volume, it is Najee Harris. Like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, we know we're going to start from day one. Justin Fields and Trey Lance aren't even going to start from day one. Mac Jones, probably not either. So, we know Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts will, but Najee Harris is going to get tons and tons and tons of touches, and he's going to get goal line work as well. So, look, 8-1, I don't really like it. I think they're going to give it to a quarterback. It's just so easy to give it to a quarterback. The counting stats are there. They're the high-profile player. That said, Najee Harris, there's at least a case to be made for him because of the workload that we know that he is going to get. But, guys, I'm pretty down on the Steelers this year. I think that it's going to be a pretty good regression year for them. You can come over here and you look at this schedule, the toughest schedule in all of the NFL. They start out Bills, and yeah, a couple of soft landing spots here, but then you go Packers, Broncos, Seahawks, come off a bye to the Browns. What are the Bears going to look like by then? Justin Fields take over maybe? Has he kind of started to look like an NFL quarterback? Don't really know. There's a win for sure. But then Chargers, Ravens, Vikings, Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Ravens to close out the season. It is just a brutal, brutal schedule for this team. And so Ben Roethlisberger and that, pretty poor offensive line have a lot of work cut out for them. And that defense, there's going to be so much pressure on this defense to keep the other teams from scoring. So I'm pretty down on this team. I like them as a no to make the playoffs for sure. And I don't really have any other look on this team because I like the Browns so much more, and I think the Ravens are a playoff team as well. So I predict a pretty big regression season here for the Steelers, and maybe even looking to bet the under on that total there. Guys, as always, very free betting guide here. So go ahead and subscribe to this page. Everything we do is absolutely free. So hit that subscribe button. Please do that. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section how you want to go. I mean, we have tons of schedule. You can see schedule odds predictions. That's what we got for every single team over here. So be sure, check out whichever projections and predictions and things like that you want for all of your squads, and go out and make your bets before this NFL season gets going. Good luck on all your bets here in 2021.